Hey guys, Indie Pride here, and welcome to the insane last stand of Ungrim Ironfist and the Dwarfs of the Slayer Keep. What Ungrim does in this battle is truly befitting of the Slayer King. It was incredible to watch, and the ending is one of the craziest and closest I've ever seen. But unfortunately, there's not going to be as much build-up to that ending in this replay. This is actually like a 50-minute replay, but I had to cut in half because somehow the same lag that both Oakley and I experienced in the actual battle made it into the replay as well. There was no loss of frames. In fact, I don't think it was even a performance issue because both of us experienced it at the exact same times during the live battle, but there was a lot of start and stop in the first half of the replay, so I cut all that crap out, and we're going to focus on the real last stand of Ungrim Ironfist and the Dwarfs of Karak, Kadrin, the final stage of this battle, which is where all the real epic stuff happens anyway. Now, as you'll notice, the last stage of the third outpost of Barak Varr, a map created by Zoidberg, is very choke pointy, which benefits the Dwarfs tremendously, of course. You can just funnel all their enemies directly onto the front of Ironbreaker shield walls, which is exactly where you want them. But as you'll see in a second, the balance bar is massively in the enemy's favor at this point in the battle, and in a few minutes we will take a look at what chaos is also sending in my direction, and you'll see the Dwarfs are going to be in for a very, very rough time, so we'll see how we try to cope with that. Oakley High Def is playing the von Carstein Vampires, and an AI is controlling the forces of chaos. We had my Empire AI ally and Oakley's Chaos AI ally beat the crap out of each other on the other side of the map, and the Empire got completely obliterated, leaving me to deal with both armies. So really not the biggest deal that you guys missed out on that, watching two AI armies duke it out. It's not the most entertaining thing in the world, but like I said, oh my god, that shot from the flame cannon was beautiful. Look at all that damage on that Graveguard. But this is where Dwarfs thrive, right? In the meat grinder, where opponents really can't flank you, and they have to cut through a bunch of 120 armor units over and over again, and just get funneled to where the flame cannon can really do its work. This is exactly what you want as a Dwarf player. But again, look at that balance bar. Look at how far our opponents are already in front of us at the moment. And you'll see this is going to be a real grinded out, gutty performance if we're going to pull this win out of the bag. I mean, frankly, we're going to need a bit of a miracle. Now, obviously, these custom maps have been an incredible thing for the game and YouTube community for Total War. In the last 2 months, I've been able to create so much content that I'd never have been able to do otherwise. But the other cool thing about the addition of these maps is that they give units like the Flame Cannon a rare chance to shine, and let people experiment a bit more with tactics and rosters without getting massively punished like they would on those vanilla maps. Seriously, try to make a Flame Cannon work on a vanilla map, and your opponent is going to laugh at you, and rightly so. They're really garbage on a open plane where you can get flanked. But on a defensive map like this, where I can actually give them time to fire, I can smack Cryptors and Karen Race and Graveguard around a lot more, which is always a good time. You can see his Mortis engine is dodging those flame cannon shots right now, but on this bridge where I'm able to just send in one Ironbreaker, tie down a big chunk of the Mortis engine obviously, but also the Banshee, the Graveguard, the Karen Race, and the Cryptors, it allows that flame cannon to fire in and just do so much more damage than it would ever be able to do on a regular vanilla map. Now, Oakley's doing a smart thing with the Mortis engine right now, getting it into combat, making sure that my Ironbreakers and my units are in the vicinity of that AoE debuff, where it basically just life leeches you over time, lowers your HP, and the Flame Cannon was trying to take it out as the Graveguard move up. Now you can see they're kind of regenerating already from the Mortis engine. Beautiful shot again from the Flame Cannon. That is so beautiful. But that Mortis engine is going to be a serious issue on this bridge because it does the AoE damage to my army and also heals up all these units as well. Thank God I have a Flame Cannon though. It is not only making this look cinematic as hell, but it is doing so much damage to these units as they cross the bridge. These Graveguard are getting punished heavily by the Flame Cannon right now, but finally my Ironbreakers are going to break, and they will begin pushing forward and moving on to the next stage of the assault with the Banshees in there as well. Vlad von Carstein also buffing up his troops on the main line, and the Flame Cannon just doesn't stop firing. I just love how quickly it shoots. It has super short range, but just does so much damage in a situation like this where you can't actually get at it except with flyers. And of course, I have Slayers and some other stuff. The Scolder Guard backing them up as well. Looks like a spell is going off on my dwarf line. What is that? Oh, that was a Kholek Suneater, actually dropping Herald of the Tempest on the back of my Ironbreakers, and the Banshee and Ungrim Ironfist are going to work right now. So Ungrim Ironfist has been reworked. Finally, it took long enough. I'm not sure why it took 9 months to give him a bonus first large, but he has an innate 35 bonus first large now and gets 16 more on top of that while his Axe of Dargo ability is active, so he hits like a truck and is of course still unbreakable. So very nice change. Makes him at least a somewhat viable choice for his cavalry and monstrous units, and might help quite a lot against Kholek Suneater wielding Star Crusher, that gigantic dragon ogre Shaggoth, who's trying to bust through the main line, but he's very hurt. He came into combat when he'd already taken a lot of damage from earlier when he was fighting against the Empire, and Axe of Dargo is going to flash down, and Kholek is going to drop. And Ungrim's first big kill of the match will be against Kholek Suneater. So let's take a look at the tally, or keep an eye on that tally throughout this game, and see what he's able to bring down with his famous Axe of Dargo, and the fact that he is, of course, the Slayer King. Let's see how many monsters he can kill in close quarters combat. It will be very interesting to watch that. Kholek is quite the notch on one's belt. Definitely a good way to start. But so much more work to be done. This is only half my army at the end of this bridge. The rest of my army is on the cliffs above. Chaos hasn't even gotten here yet, but they're on their way. And I'm either going to have to sacrifice all these units at the bridge, or make a mad scramble and retreat for the cliffs. Scolder Guard firing some molten hot steam at the Mortis engine. They're actually quite good for killing units like the Claw of Nagash, and even more of Oakley's Grave Guard streaming in, ready to reinforce the position, kind of getting globbed up at the end of that bridge. Here come the stupid trolls, those stupid stinky trolls. I'm going to try to do as much damage to them as possible with the cannons that are firing from above. And I'm not sure what Oakley's doing with the Grave Guard there. Maybe trying to dodge the Scolder Guard fire and regen with the Mortis engine back there. But Vlad is still watching the engagement as it plays out. Sure, he would love to hunt down Ungrim Ironfist and try to kill him early on, but I'm going to try my best not to let that happen. Let's take a look at the Warriors of Chaos and what they have streaming across the bridge right now. So we've got Armored Trolls in the front, Chosen, 2 Chaos Giants, more Armored Trolls, Warriors of Chaos, Chaos Warriors, a Corpse Cart, more Chosen, another Chaos Giant, so 3 Chaos Giants on the way, and some more Chosen. So yes, that is why the balance bar is so far in their favor. Again, doing some nice damage with the cannons, jibbing a couple of those models, doing some damage to the Armored Trolls as well as they charge in. That one's actually going to take down 2 of them. Are they dead? Or are they going to get back up? They're going to get back up. Unfortunate, but did some nice HP damage to them. But 3 Chaos Giants, a Mortis engine, a Corpse Cart, Vargheists now landing in my back lines, Terrorgheist in there as well, Ungrim Ironfist down to about 2/3 HP. Scolder Guard going to chase off that Terrorgeist, but those Vargheists are... I always laugh when I see Ungrim next to the Vargheist, because it honestly looks like he's a little mini Vargheist. Like he is trying his best to get his wings and start flying when he can. That's going in the Book of Grudges for sure. But literally his mohawk looks exactly like the Vargheist ones, which I think is pretty hilarious. Sure, that wasn't intentional, but that's honestly what the models in the game look like. I'd probably pay money to see Ungrim dress up in a Halloween Vargheist costume with little wings. I think that'd be hilarious. But now things are bad. Things are very, very bad with the arrival of those Chaos Giants, all these monstrous units streaming in. Even the Dawi can't be expected to hold for much longer against that Tide of Doom. The Peatgate Guard and the Grumbling Guard are getting torn apart. Scolder Guard are still sticking around to kill a few of the Vargheists before they run, but the bridge will fall to Chaos and the von Carstein Zanganaz, and I'm going to pull everything I can out of there, and now my Flame Cannon from above will start ripping up all these Chosen and units that begin streaming across the bridge. But it is going to fall. You can see my Dawi are pretty much completely dead at this point, and that's exactly when you want to start opening up with the Flame Cannon. So let's take a look at what we have up here. We got a Flame Cannon, some Dwarf Rangers with great weapons also up there, and Ungrim Ironfist and his Hammerers, just a handful of them making it away. Scolder Guard will also be pulling back, but the rest will be sacrificed at the end of the bridge, and they're finally going to push through with an Exalted Hero as well. So Slayer's up top, guarding the cannons, making sure that the Vargheists can't be sneaky. This is an epic shot. Look at that. Vargheists gonna come in from below and sneakily try to get in at the cannon, but they are going to get greeted by Slayers, and this is exactly where the Slayers want to be. Fantastic unit for killing Vargheists because they have low armor, and the Slayers obviously have a bonus first large, so as soon as I get them under control, I'm going to close down those already very badly damaged Vargheists, and the Slayers with their dual axes will cut them into little itty-bitty undead pieces. Flame Cannon is still firing in, and now Chaos is beginning their final ascent to my position. This is going to be do or die here at this point. The Dwarfs are going to have to hold it down, or they are going to be sent over the edge of the cliff and into the abyss below. So hammers are probably going to be left there to make sure the Skulker Guard can get away. I think an Exalted Hero is giving chase. Yeah, Exalted Hero right into the center of those hammers. He's already taken a lot of damage. Again, a lot of the Chaos stuff that was coming over from the other side of the battlefield had already taken a ton of damage. But with that said, so have my Dwarfs. And once those armored trolls make it into them and they get vomited on, they're going to get torn apart, and there's not a whole lot I can do about it. Ungrim is going forward, though. Maybe going to try to kill a few of the trolls here. Maybe just buffing up morale. No, it does look like the Slayer King is going to go in there and then think better of it. That's a lot of trolls. Maybe I don't want to deal with them yet, because we're going to need Ungrim in the late game if we want any hope of pulling this one out. Chaos Giants coming in now. So many trolls of the Chosen, and what's left of the von Carstein Vampires. Just a lot of units to deal with. But here are my trump card. I have 2 full-strength units of Dwarf Rangers with great weapons. But even Dragon Ogres coming in. Jesus Christ, man. There's so much stuff coming this way. It's going to be a crazy fight to the finish here. So those Dwarf Rangers with great weapons are fantastic for killing large units, because they really can't miss something as big as a giant. So all those throwing axes can find their mark and quickly shred through huge chunks of HP in seconds. And of course, giants and dragon ogres don't have fantastic armor values anyway. They don't have a shield block chance. So those dwarf rangers will be incredibly important. But look at this nightmare. Just a handful of dwarfs left. My slayers, Ungrim Ironfist, the Iron Drakes are going to be holding the line against all manner of monsters from Sylvania and from Norska and the Chaos Waste. Here come the Dragon Ogres. Of course, they are controlled by an AI, so not the best engagement for the AI, of course. They're going to get quickly swarmed by my Slayers, and the throwing axe is going in there as well. And that is going to be a nightmare for the Dragon Ogres. Look at how fastly they're dropping, almost instantaneously, butchered by those throwing axes and by the dual axes of the Slayers. And so the first unit is dead. Well, here come the Trolls. So we're going to need to pour even more fire into this to hopefully hold it down. Those Slayers are taking damage so quickly, though. Look at that. Don't have a charged defense against large, so when you get smacked in the face by Dragon Ogres and Armored Trolls and slammed into the ground over and over again until you're red paste, yeah, you're going to take a lot of damage here. So these Slayers are doing what they can, but they are losing HP so quickly. But they're plugging the gap, tying everything down, and giving my Ulthar's Raiders time to shoot in using the Marked by Ulthar ability. Going to lower the missile resistance and armor of that Chaos Giant. And with the focus fire coming in, with all these throwing axes, look at that. Doing so much damage to these Chaos Giants. Even Ungrim Ironfist is in there as well. My last Slayer unit, screaming for their deaths, going into combat. Truly a glorious day to fulfill their Slayer oaths in the face of Armageddon. And the Slayer King in the scrum as well, hacking away at the pinky toe of the Giant. And the first one is going to go down after a couple swings by Ungrim and all those axes. That is going to be a dead Chaos Giant. But 2 more are still alive, Flame Cannon firing into the Chosen. And look at how fast this Chaos Giant is going down. Another one going to go down to Ungrim Ironfist's Axe of Dargo and the support from the range units. 1 more Chaos Giant left, but not a whole lot of ammo left in my Iron Drakes or the throwing axes either. Ungrim, again, hacking away at his pinky toe, doing some decent damage there. And oh my god, that was so many throwing axes. And 3 Chaos Giants in about 30 seconds gonna go down here. That is a big swing. That was important. Killed a lot of Chaos Giants there, but Graveguard now into combat. Mortis Engine and the Corpse Guard coming in as well. More Chosen streaming in. And what else? There's still a Terrorgheists. Look at the balance bar. It says I have almost no hope of winning this battle, flirting very dangerously with that army losses morale penalty, which will send everyone but Ungrim and the unbreakable units running. Looks like there's a Banshee here who's getting sought after by Ungrim Ironfist. Can he close her down? Surrounded by the Grave Guard right now. Mortis Engine, the Claw of Nagash coming in to reinforce. Ungrim just kind of standing there, letting himself get stabbed. I don't What are you doing, buddy? Oh my god, and he gets run over by Gorby's chariot. Oh my god, what the hell? Where did that thing even come from? Just ran over the Slayer King like he wasn't even there. And again, marked by Ulthar, and those Gorby's chariots are going to drop super fast. Look at that. So many low HP units getting killed here. Ungrim finishing off the Banshee there. So at this point, he's helped kill 2 Chaos Giants. He did kill Kholek. He killed a Banshee. And he's killed some Vargheists and Armored Trolls as well. So he already has an incredibly impressive resume in this battle alone. But there is still so much work left to be done. And I am out of ammunition at this point. And the balance bar is really not shifting back in my favor. Because the balance bar does take into effect or take into consideration how much HP units have. So even with all that work, killing 3 Chaos Giants and all those monstrous units, it really hasn't shifted things in my favor at all. And now the Mortis Engine is looking to close down my Iron Drakes. I'll have to pull him back. Ungrim going forward. He's at half HP now. Oh, there is a bit of ammunition left. Just a bit of ammunition left on my throwing axes, but I won't have ammo for long. They have very limited ammunition. As you saw, we've already killed a bunch of Chaos Giants. Flame Cannon firing into the Chosen. Doing beautiful, beautiful work for me. Ugh, so good. So good. So glad I had a Flame Cannon positioned up here. It's helped me so much so far. But the Chosen will tear through my melee units. Like, even the Dwarf Rangers Square Opens will not have a good time against Chosen of the Dark Gods. And now they're going to go into melee. Can we hold the line here against Chaos and the Vampire Counts? Remember, Vlad is still alive. Terrorgheists is still alive. Mortis Engine is still alive. And there might even be some friendly fire coming in from the Flame Cannon. Yeah, oh god, that was bad. I gotta be careful with the friendly fire. That's not good at all. The Chosen are super low HP, and they're going to run as well. So far, so good. The defense is holding, and it is an absolute bloodbath. Carnage in this choke point. Look at all those dead bodies and all the monsters that have hit the dirt. But the Terrorgeist senses an opportunity here. Flying above. I still have my Runesmith alive as well. Terrorgeist going straight for the Flame Cannon crew. I'm out of Slayers. I'm out of melee units. Everything else is tied down. So the Terrorgeist is going to be able to easily land in amongst the artillery crews and rip them apart. Scolder Guard can still do some damage there, but they can't have much ammunition left either. Mortis Engine went down. I must have missed it when the Terrorgeist flew overhead. Mortis Engine went down to Ungrim, and that's another notch on his belt. So now the Corpse Cart and Vlad von Carstein are running for the Iron Drakes, who have, yeah, a sliver of ammo left. They've got about one more volley left on the Terrorgeist, who is still munching happily, snacking on those artillery crew in the background, and Vlad, who is at full HP, making it into those Iron Drakes. So the Runesmith and Ungrim Ironfist are going to make their last stand here and going to try to hold the line against the Terrorgeist, against Vlad, against the Chosen that are still alive. The Chaos doesn't have a whole lot left on the field, but neither do I. I have, like, at this point, I probably have 50 or 60 men left in the entire battle. But our Corpse Cart, not going to be able to deal with Ungrim in melee. Remember that he has about 50 bonus first large with all his abilities together, and easily going to destroy that Necromancer and the Corpse Cart, and another notch on Ungrim's belt. So that's 7 or 8 monsters he's killed so far. More Chosen coming in, and the Runesmith and Ungrim will fight together to the last and try to deal with Vlad. But there's still a mostly full HP Terrorgeist to deal with, who's crawling his way over. That looks so terrifying. And now Ungrim and the Runesmith matched in combat with the Terrorgeist. Just another day for the Slayer King, man. Just another monstrosity to cleave in two. No big deal. Ungrim's got this in the bag. Can he finish off a Terrorgeist, though? Gonna get knocked down by that huge bat monstrosity. And looks like the Rune of Wrath and Ruin going off on these Chaos Warriors who are funneling into combat. Dealing with the Iron Drakes now. Flame Cannon is still firing, even though Vlad is trying desperately to make sure those cannon crews stop shooting. Warriors of Chaos will rout, but there are more Chosen backing them up, and I would definitely think they'll be able to finish off those Iron Drakes if the Flame Cannon can stop firing. But Vlad is not killing the artillery crew fast enough. Ungrim's taken a lot of damage, but Terrorgeist is beginning to take some damage in their as well. He's actually going around killing the crews and blowing up the cannons themselves, but he's doing it kind of slowly right now. Vlad von Carstein, you should be able to finish off artillery crews faster than that. The Chosen pushing through, cutting through these Iron Drakes, and the Runesmith making sure that the damage negation goes off on Ungrim, making sure he takes less damage here. The leadership is beginning to crumble for this Terrorgeist, and once that happens, it will start losing combat pretty dramatically. Ungrim moving forward, slicing into the flank of the Terrorgeist, doing a lot of damage there, and Vlad still dealing with the crews in the back. Pretty soon here, I would think they're going to rout. But everything for the Dawi just pretty much holding it down to the last Dwarf. Very impressive. Another Rune of Wrath and Ruin going off on the front line. The Terrorgeist actually has less HP than Ungrim now. I'm not sure that Terrorgeist is going to be able to make it out of combat. One more slice from the Axe of Dargo. It's crumbling and running past the Runesmith, pulling away. Should be able to get some regen in if it's able to take off. But actually killing the artillery crew. Oh man, this could be bad. If Ungrim gets one more attack in, that Terrorgeist is going to die. He's knocked them both down and killed the cannon there. So I think finally the artillery crew is going to stop shooting. But the binding tying this creature to unlife is collapsing. It's crumbling now. Vlad and the Terrorgeist versus Ungrim and the Runesmith. 2v2 here. And the Terrorgeist is going to drop. It dies, leaving Vlad in the lurch, unable to keep his pet alive. And now Ungrim and the Runesmith have the opportunity to gang up and knock over Vlad von Carstein. But there are still more units to worry about. The Iron Drakes are still trying to hold the line against the Chosen. Another Rune of Wrath and Ruin going off on them. And it looks like there are a couple more Chaos units coming up the hill as well. Those Iron Drakes have done so much work in combat here. Didn't expect them to hold out in melee for as long as they have. But Ungrim and the Runesmith, very low HP at this point. Not much left. A couple Dwarf units coming back. Balance Bar shifted a sliver back in the Dwarf's favor, but still massively in the favor of the Vampire Counts and Chaos because there are Chosen on the field, because Vlad is mostly full HP and can regen so much. Ungrim getting knocked down here. He does not have a lot of HP to work with. He cannot afford to get hit by the armor piercing of these Chosen. Vlad dealing with the Iron Drakes, making them run, and now it's just the Runesmith and Ungrim and the Dwarfs that are coming back, but will they even be able to make it back into combat before they rout? Remember, Vlad does cause fear, and will be, oh yeah, oh god. Ungrim just chopped that dude's head off. Chosen going down, many of them going down here. Add another 4 or 5 Chosen to the list of things Ungrim's killed this battle. Vlad about 2/3 HP, Chosen chasing off the Rangers with great weapons, and they won't be able to win that. Warriors of Dragonfire Pass coming in. Maybe enough to reinforce. They have a bonus versus infantry. That might be enough. This is getting absolutely insane. This could still go either way, although I still say it's very much in the Vampire Counts and Chaos favor because they have Chosen on the field. But these Chosen, are they running? They might be, I think they're broken. They're running away from Ungrim Ironfist. He's just chasing off a bunch of Chosen. They haven't shattered yet. Those Chosen are wavering. They just broke. They're breaking through a bunch of the Dwarf units that are also breaking. And the Warriors of Dragonfire Pass, only a handful of them managed to chase off all those Chosen. But the Dwarfs aren't very good at chasing off units. Might not be able to make sure they shatter here. Gonna give chase a little bit, and then maybe turn back and focus on Vlad. Wow. So much routing in the late game. Ungrim with about 1/3 of his HP left. Vlad regenerating. This is not ideal. Don't want to be letting Vlad regenerate here, because he's getting a lot of his health back. You can see he's already regenerated a lot of it. Warriors of Dragonfire Pass moving up the hill, and I guess we'll be the first to deal with Vlad, maybe soak up his charge bonus, and then followed up with a charge from Ungrim. Vlad looking like a badass strolling down that hill here, and into the center of their formation, and slaughtering a bunch of them with one swing, because they'd already taken a bunch of HP damage. And those Warriors of Dragonfire Pass will not be around for much longer, but Ungrim is in here now. And now we have the final duel, the duel of fate, to decide who wins this battle. Will it be Vlad von Carstein and the von Carstein Zanganaz, or will it be Ungrim Ironfist and the Dwarfs of Slayer Keep? Vlad is doing some weird stuff. I don't know why he keeps cycling out of combat. he has an attack order clicked on Ungrim, but it seems like he's just like kind of waiting out of combat to get his charge a couple times. That was interesting. But the Warriors Dragonfire passive routed, and now it's Ungrim and Vlad. That's it. That's it. After all this battle, after 27 minutes, it comes down to Vlad versus Ungrim. And Vlad has a lot more HP left, but he is out of regen. He has no more regeneration, so he will not be getting any more health back. Oh man, this is gonna be crazy. Ungrim has almost no HP, 1,000 HP left, and this is where I really wish that there were matched combat animations for Lords. It'd be really cool to see them actually trading blows here instead of kind of just smacking the ground in the air. Either way, this is an amazing end to a crazy battle. I'm gonna let it play out. I'm just gonna be silent for a second and let you see their HP drop. Oh my god, there's almost no health left on Ungrim. 700, he's like a couple hits away. Can Vlad do it? Can Ungrim do it? Just going back and forth. Balance bar is 90% in Vlad's and the Vampire's favor. 660 HP to 180 for Ungrim. They're both only a couple hits away from death, and now Vlad is beginning to crumble. There's no way Ungrim is going to take this back. He had less than half the HP remaining of Vlad. Oh my god, he has 23 HP left. One more hit and Ungrim is dead. One more hit. Oh my... No! Dude, Ungrim pulls it out of the bag. And the Dwarfs of Karak Kadrin win in an insane ending. That was... What? That when Oakley and me played that game, we both freaked out. We both just screamed into the mic. Like, that ending was absolutely insane. We were both sure Vlad was going to pull that out. He had more than twice his health. Balance bar super far in the opponent's favor. And Ungrim somehow managed to dodge the last couple of Vlad's attacks when he had 23 health left and pull it out. Ridiculous. Absolutely insane ending. So let's make a tally real quick. Ungrim killed Kholek Suneater, a Mortis Engine, a Corpse Cart, a few Cryptors, a few Trolls. I don't think he actually got a Vargheist. Killed some Chosen. He helped kill 2 Chaos Giants. He did like 90% of the damage to a Terrorgheist, and he killed Vlad von Carstein in a duel. What a legend. The Slayer King, everybody. After 9 months, he is finally here. Hope you all enjoyed that ending. I'll see you all next time. Any Pride, signing out for now.